Hey, how's it going? My name is Paul Allen. I have worked as a character animator in TV, film, and games. I am currently working at Reel FX. I've worked on their features Freebirds, Book of Life, and a film that should be coming out any day now called Rock Dog. And we're currently in pre-production on some undisclosed projects. So I'm taking a look at your work today. Really fun piece from Back to the Future, some back and forth between Doc and Marty. Let's take a look at it.
This is heavy duty, Doc. This is great. Does it run like on regular unleaded gasoline?
Unfortunately, no. It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium.
Plutonium. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Really fun piece. Good job on this. The biggest things I think that sort of stood out to me while I was watching it as far as feedback, some of it's subjective, just sort of just my opinion on some things. Some of it a little bit of some pose stuff. Is that I noticed throughout it feels a little mirrored. On the limbs on each side. I think you could get a little bit more variety, and you know, you can, if you're going to do something like this, to have a little more asymmetry into the poses, like this little antic here, and you do have a little bit of offsets in there, sort of things sort of coming to a stop, sort of as pretty close to the same time. So getting a little bit more offset, building it into there, into the spacing, changing the height of things a little bit, maybe. Getting a little bit, just looking at the lines of his body, maybe getting a little bit more, pushing that pose, that line of action.
This is heavy.
And then, because if you build in more of that line here with his body, then when you go into this antic for this jump, then get more of a reversal, bring him down, and get more of try to get a little bit more of a reversal that'll also get that arm up and clear up that silhouette. See where it's tangenting right there, going tangent, and that will raise this side, and that'll get a little bit more asymmetry into the pose.
This is heavy duty, Doc. This is great. This is heavy duty, Doc. This is great. Does it run like on regular unleaded gasoline?
It feels like he's sort of going a little bit into a talking head. It's just a talking head. Because he's really interested in this device, and maybe bringing him up and forward a little bit when he's asking the question to sort of involve his body a little bit more to bring him up and forward, I think would be a nice choice.
On regular unleaded gasoline?
Unfortunately, no. It requires something with a little more.
Sort of goes into, like I said, into a little bit of talking head. I like that you're twisting the handlebars a little bit.
Unfortunately, no. It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium.
The Doc, I like. He comes up. He's leaning forward. He's a little bit overall, and this is something else that I've noticed, a little bit level, and I'm seeing that on the Marty character as well. You know, just changing some angles slightly, I think would be helpful.
It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium.
I'm not 100% sure if you need this last pose change, because I know you're emphasizing plutonium in this sort of a muscle pose, but I don't know if it's really needed. It feels like, to me, it feels like a pose change, just have a pose change, and I don't know if I think you could leave it maybe more in this sort of space, this pose space, and go based off of that instead of just making a big pose change just to get it in there. That's sort of what it feels like to me.
Plutonium!
Plutonium. Wait a minute.
And this
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
I think also this is a little bit what I was talking about with. He feels very level overall. I know that's what I was talking about with with Doc when he comes out. Everything's very feels very mirrored on either side, and I think you could break that up just with just to give it a little bit more visual asymmetry, and I think it would make it more visually interesting as well. The dialogue, the lip sync overall, it feels a little on the chewy side, and that's sort of an artistic choice on how much you're emphasizing things. But I think if you just listen to the dialogue and find areas for that emphasis, the over articulation to fit, and sort of tone it down in some other areas where it's needed, like when he's talking right here.
Plutonium. Wait a minute.
He's talking more quietly. Hey, wait a minute, plutonium. Sort of tone it down in that area and save the articulation, because it feels it's traveling a lot, and I think it's not needed in that area as much.
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
And where you really want to get it, are you telling me it's sort of rising? Are you telling me that sucker's nuclear? And that's where you want to really get some punch on it as it ramps into that emotion right at the end. And when he's coming forward, I like this little run. It's very straight up and down, and I think you could get a slight tilt, slight lean this way as he's gesturing to it. And really punch up the face, and maybe even have him if you're going to lean this way, then have him lean a little bit more this way, not so much straight up and down. And he feels like I would keep it like he's shocked. He's like, this thing's nuclear? What? And sort of keep that face and really emphasize it. Does this thing's nuclear? And stick with that. It feels like he comes out of it.
Is nuclear?
And then he gets sad. To me, this feels like a sad face, and I don't know if that's the right thing to sort of come down into. I would keep him sort of shocked, because it's a nuclear device. So I would keep him there instead of going. It feels like he goes into a sort of a sad face at the end. But overall, I think he did a really good job with this, and it's really fun, and I enjoyed looking at it.